The meeting tonight is for the conduct of town business by the town board. The public is invited to participate at the items marked on the agenda, public comment. During that segment of the meeting, if you have a question or comment for the supervisor, please raise your hand and wait to be acknowledged. Please state your full name and limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. I'd like to start the meeting off with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing, please, for a moment of silence for all our brave men and women fighting all over the world for democracy and freedom, for our first responders, and the loss of Mrs. Amadeo. Thank you very much. Okay, gentlemen. A motion to approve the agenda.
Motion. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None being said, so moved. Thank you. Motion to approve minutes from the August 26, 2019 Town Board meeting. I need a motion.
Motion.
Need a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Authorize payments of the bill, to pay the bill, $75,601.83. I need a motion to pay the bills, gentlemen.
Yeah, make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? None being said. Any comments on the agenda tonight? Any comments on the agenda? We have a presentation. Denise is going to present to the town board about solar lighting at the town's dog park. You want to just come up and just state your name, and you all could come up.
I want you to go over there where the microphone is.
Microphone's here.
Just tell.
Give an overview.
What's your ideas?
What's your idea?
What's your idea? What you would like to see down at the dog park?
How you doing?
And why?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Joel speak because I'm not good at this at all, and I'll just.
And nobody in Marlborough is.
I'm not good at it either.
So this is Joel.
Hello, everyone.
Hi,
Joel Abramson. I live in Highland, but I currently, along with everybody else here, use the new dog park that was put up for us by the Eagle Scout. We frequent it almost every day. Anywhere from, I'd say, 10 to 15 dogs easily every day. All the dogs, for the most part, get along. We're all responsible dog owners. We clean up after our dogs. If our dogs get out of line, we separate them and give them time out. And we were there the other day, and we was noticing that, it's starting to get darker much earlier now. And soon at the end of the month, the clocks will be set back, whereas some of us get home from work at 5 o'clock, and in another month it'll be dark. But yet a lot of us still take our dogs out at that time of day. So we came up with the idea of coming to see you guys, and I'm an electrician. I work in the city, but I'm more than capable of installing. We were going to purchase these ourselves and chip in and just split it, and I was going to put them up, but then we said, well, maybe we should speak to you first and see how you feel and get permission, along with a few other smaller items that we have about the dog park that we'd also like to ask you about. So I went on Amazon, and there's two. I picked two lights. If you guys like, there's one is a $40 light, one is a $97 light. One is more powerful than the other. They're solar lights. They come with little solar panels. It won't costs anything to run. It's basically free energy. If you guys want to take a look
There's
at it.
a pergola there, I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to the dog park.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would just basically be screwed, I can screw it right to the,
Face it away from the house in this case.
away from the house, yes. We are sensitive to the gentleman or people who live behind there. So yes, it would not face his house at all. One of them actually, you could set, is a motion sensor where you can set it for like up to 120 seconds, where if there was no movement for 120, it would shut off completely. So there would be no light at all. That also, I think, has a, they call it a dim mode. So it would be like lit up fractionally, just so people, if you did come to the dog park and there was no one there, at least you wouldn't be approaching the dog park in complete darkness.
So it's high enough where, like, animals or anything wouldn't set it off?
Well, if there was an animal in the dog park,
Okay.
it would set it off.
It's fenced in.
Oh, okay.
There's a woodchuck who plays there a lot.
We're familiar with Chuck.
So along with that,
Yeah.
just might as well, we're here, we currently hang a trash bag from the fence, and it fills up very quickly, and we all, when it's full, we take it away and throw it out. We were wondering what it would take, if possible, either to, and we don't have any problem doing it, we can buy a container and chain it to the fence and remove our own garbage, or I don't know who, if there's any local trash
I mean,
contractors for the
the
town.
rules state that you carry you carry it out,
We did.
right? If
What's
you look
that?
at the rules on the, by the kiosks.
Oh, we pick up the waste with doggy bags,
Yeah.
and then we throw it in, we throw it in garbage bag.
Yeah, but the thing is that each owner of the dog who goes there and picks up their doggy surplus there, that they're supposed to take that home with them. There shouldn't be any bag there. That was the whole purpose
Okay.
of it.
I've been going to dog parks for well over 10
I
years.
guess it doesn't work, right?
There's not one dog park that I've been to where there's not a waste dispenser.
Right.
We also did that, not to interrupt you, we also did that down at the landing park to discourage the use of people leaving garbage there. So basically what it is, and we have a sign down there that says carry out what you carry in. So we're not basically emptying out garbage cans all the time. We provide them up at the town park up here because there's sporting events and things like that. But the whole idea of it was to promote that we don't want garbages overflowing. And we actually had a barrel wash up on the shore. Somebody brought up and put on next to the fence that immediately filled up in garbage. So that's what we try to discourage that. It is a carry out what you carry in type policy. So that's why there was never a bin there. There was never a garbage can there ever.
We don't have municipal,
So is that out of the question, or
Well,
is
it
that
seems
something
like
that you
it's
might?
not working, right? It seems like people are not following the rules.
No, we are following the
No,
rules.
no, you all are, but the rest of the people, I mean, it's not just your doggies' waste, it's other people's. You have the bag there, and they're putting their waste in there instead of carrying it out.
I think it's like when the barrel washed up on the shore and somebody put it against the fence, everybody assumed it was a garbage can, and it's now currently full. You know what I mean? And there was never a garbage can, it just happened to be something that washed up. Where everybody before that was carrying out.
Our bags never get full, because we are always replacing them with fresh bags and taking it out, but, to our own garbage cans. So there's not a accumulation of garbage that is more than a bag sit there 2 days, it'll be replaced with
If you guys want to do that, I mean,
We
I
just
don't
want
have-
something so if the bag won't break
Yeah, I got it.
and,
Right.
we will assume the responsibility of emptying the garbage.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I was just bringing up the fact that we did have rules there, but obviously, in the past, I noticed that Tom has put bags out there, and it's been full, and then he has to take care of it. So if you all want to take care of it, I have no problem with that. I don't know if the rest of the board does.
I think it would be a good idea to You're suggesting a garbage can or receptacle?
A metal, just a metal receptacle.
Well, one of those, one of the brute containers.
Yeah, well,
You know, like the 30-gallon containers that we can put a liner in, and we can buy a chain it so no one steals it. And then that way, when it's full, we can just take the bag out, tie it off, put a new one in, and get rid of the old one.
Tell you, you buy the lights, we'll buy the garbage pail.
How about the other way around?
Which light do you recommend? You're the electrician.
Well, there's two, they operate differently. So the larger one will obviously give more light, but that actually comes with a small remote, which we could leave in there's like a little plastic thing there that, for the waste bags. We can always just leave it in there, and when the last person leaves the dog park, they can just shut the light off.
No, you don't want to do that. That remote won't last long, believe me. I put keys up at the other, just keys, and they go through keys like
So,
crazy.
all right.
You leave that remote up there, it's not gonna stay.
If we went with the motion one, I would recommend that we get two of them.
The $40.
So yes, two of them, so one can, shine, so it's, the way the pergola? The way the pergola is built, it's really at a perfect angle where we could, put one facing this way and one facing this way, neither which would be facing the house.
I would go with the motion, believe me, take my experience with that remote will not be there. A kid will take it, or somebody will pull it out of there.
So that's $80.
Yeah.
$80 for the lighting, and you do the installation,
Um,
and we buy the garbage can.
Take 10 minutes. So was there the garbage and we don't know who mows the lawn there, but we appreciate it. Does the town mow the lawn?
That's,
Yes.
we contracted out.
Mr. Zambito, Dave Zambito does our maintenance for our lawns and stuff like that. He takes care of our
Maybe
part.
Farrell would give him a call when we get one, but,
Well, he does down below too, so he tries to do it at the same time.
So I think it's really good when these guys pick up all the dog feces. So that really
No,
helps.
we police ourselves, I mean, it's very easy to, to go there and start having a conversation with somebody and you just miss your dog going to the bathroom and we'll all say to each other like, Prudence is, needs a cleanup or, so, and we end up picking up people who don't pick up after their dog. But it means a lot to us.
He has a shovel and a rake, and he's always filling up our holes and cleaning up diet. I mean, we take good care of it, and whatever that Eagle Scout is, we want to tell him thank you and come up and see what a great job he did and how much we and everybody appreciates his project because it's great. Yeah, you did a good job.
Yeah, and, we started this communication and, with a call, and then, I suggested that you come to the town board. Of course, I think that's a proper procedure, because this way, we love, people just volunteer, but we just don't want people to go there and think that, just because it's free, it's for the community, but we just don't want people to go without the process of this board knowing. So, and plus it gives you a little time to talk about what your concerns are. And I think it's great. I really commend all of you for doing what you do there. I think that's what makes a dog park, right? I mean, that's pretty good. I don't bring my dog there because my dog doesn't like dogs, but I love the people that go there, so I go there a few times a year, so.
I mean, we've made wonderful friends.
Yeah, none of us knew each other before
Good.
we started taking our dogs there.
It's a community
Now
thing.
we're going on vacation together.
And you're bringing your dogs. So,
Anything else?
no. Tom, they don't need anything, right? Okay. Good to go. You're good to go.
Okay.
All right.
So,
Al, you got a couple comments out there?
Tom is our code enforcer. Hold on, James, let me
James
finish the
and
interview
Jerry.
here, and then we'll get to you. So, I think the board's pleased with what you're doing, and we commend you, and
I didn't realize
continue
there were
with.
that many dogs,
Yeah.
there every day. What time of the day?
well, we're the afternoon crew.
Yeah, during the week, we start anywhere
And all of that together is about 10 to 15?
Plus whoever goes there in the morning or
there's
people
early
that-
afternoon.
Yeah, it's used. It's very appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, we used to either have to drive over to New Paltz, where there's a dog park in the back there, or drive up to Kingston.
It's a lovely
And
dog
this is,
park.
this is much,
Good.
Good.
Good. All right, you're all set to go, and we'll get...
so are we, just to be clear, are we purchasing the lights and the
You're
park?
purchasing the lights and putting them up, and we're gonna get the garbage pail and the chain and
We'll have a
everything.
chain to the thing for you.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Nice meeting you all.
you. James got a question.
James?
I don't know what time the park opens and closes.
I can't believe
Could this be set on a timer so that it doesn't go off at 1 o'clock in the morning and then you wake up the neighbors?
It's not gonna,
It's-
we're gonna set it so it doesn't go towards neighbors. And also, the motion detector's gonna go on no matter what, whether another animal goes in there. So setting it would do no good. The other one's a set it, you need a remote for that. So that's what we're trying to say. But the way they're gonna set it, it won't interfere with anybody at all. That's what we're saying that way.
Set on a timer so that it doesn't
We're not, this one doesn't work on a timer. The timer one needs a remote. That's where we're going with this one. It's set off by sensors.
And we're gonna have two of them.
They're gonna have two of them, and they're
We're
not
gonna
gonna
see
face
how it
anybody's
works.
houses.
It'll work. Thank you, James. You're good to go.
Jerry?
You're welcome.
Jerry, have a comment now? Jerry.
I think your idea is great, and I love dogs. I don't have one because she's allergic, otherwise I would. But I'm worried that maybe there's some consequences we're not thinking of. Does this park have an official open and close time during the day?
Every park is supposed to open
During
It
the
does.
dusk?
I
Close
think
it-
has
close
an
at dusk,
official
yes.
opening
Okay,
and
so
closing
now
too.
we have the park open after dusk. I know the town plans to finish the rest of the park. So the one thing that worries me is we're now saying that in this case, the park is open dawn to dusk, except for the dog park, which is open after dusk.
The only thing we could do is say that, like, for instance, the same thing goes for the other town park, but when we have something in the pavilion with the lights and everything, when we have something in the bocce court or anything like that, with the lights, it does go past dusk.
Okay.
And then I think if we put an hourly time on it, it would be fine.
Because the kind of thing I'm worried about is
We could do
we
9.
finish the rest of the park, and I say, hey, I get home from work.
So what
at
time
6
do you
o'clock, and I wanna
usually
play
end up
frisbee.
there?
Town park,
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
I think,
Okay.
Yeah, our limit says
okay,
10.
you're good.
Yeah.
So I'm worried about the whole park winding up with lights.
Yeah.
And
Well, the whole park will be open till 10 once we get it.
Okay.
Once it's done, yeah.
That's a curfew of the town.
You're welcome.
Thanks for the information.
Thank you. Good point, Jeff.
Well, 9 o'clock is dark.
Bye-bye, Mrs. DeBella.
It's coming on, then it goes off, then it comes on, then it goes off. We're having difficulties.
We have a technical
Technical
difficulty.
difficulties? Do we have hard copies?
Okay, we could start the reports, right?
What's that?
Do we have any
Oh,
copies
it's
for your
down?
computer?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
has some, I only have a few left.
I don't know if anybody wants one,
Well,
but,
they have views here, but the audience don't have
yeah,
views.
we don't need it, but they do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get, I've been
I
trying
have
here for the last 20 minutes
Three.
to reconnect.
You got his cell
Anybody in the
number?
audience need an agenda?
What else?
I'm gonna bring him down here on Friday and we're gonna figure this thing out. I'm not gonna count on him. I'm gonna get this guy. We gotta figure this out. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I got it.
If we can't do it wirelessly, we gotta do it hardwired. That's the end of it.
Well, it should be.
Okay.
Okay. So, next on the, item 8 is report of the departments and boards. So, let's start with the supervisor. Met with Councilman Corcoran, Chief Kokoza, town legal, and representatives from the PBA to negotiate a contract. We did come to an agreement. We were waiting for ratification. Hopefully that'll be soon. We had a meeting also with Councilman Corcoran, Chief Kokoza, and Marlborough School District representatives to discuss the SROs for the schools. That's 2 schools. we're obligated for the high school. The issue comes up about cars and how to divvy up the hours on that for the cars, the time that they use it for the SROs. We have not heard back from the school yet. We're hoping to hear from them back soon. We also put in a request because of the contract change. We didn't charge them in 2019 the correct amount, but they said that due to the contract, they weren't going to obligate that condition. So, but talking to Patrick, he said he's possibly going to make it up to us with the next MOU, so I haven't heard anything. So that's on that. And we're for keeping our children safe, so we'll work something out. It's all taxpayers' money one way or the other. I had a meeting with John, the court security officer. He was wondering, he's been here like 20 years, he was wondering why he didn't get a pension. Talked to Chris Wilco about that, and you have to apply for it. I think he was a dispatcher first? Okay. So I'll talk to him about that. For some odd reason, he does get one in Cornwall. So that, I think he has to apply for it, but he's not going to get 20 years worth of pension anyhow. Met with Councilman Baker and the representatives of the EPA to assess the location at the solar landfill. That was a great meeting. So they'll do a report and they'll tell us exactly what they think. They were very impressed with the layout of the of our transfer station, especially the landfill, and they were taking readings, and it's wide open, so we should get a lot of energy out of that. So we'll see what happens, right, Mr. Baker?
Yes.
And just to add on to that, and NexAmp is very interested in our landfill, and but in order for them to get going, we have to do an RFP. So I've been working with Pat Hines and Jeff Battistoni from Vanderwater and Vanderwater to get that RFP so we could get that going. We also checked with NexAmp to make sure they're still interested. They are, so that I think that would be a good thing to do. Had a meeting with Mr. Zambito and the Girl Scouts about their project, and they came before the town board at the last meeting. I think that all went well. They're going to keep their stones inside the playground, the fence playground. I'm hoping any day soon now I'll get the contract, the $150,000 from Senator, the late Senator Larkin, to start that project. I feel in my bones I'll get it any day. So once that goes, I think it'll be just a prime time, September, to start that project. And that's an all-inclusive playground. Let me see. So attended the Milton Firehouse fundraiser, the lobster bake. Thank you, Alan. It's a great thing. The lobster is superb this year. And everybody that was there was really friendly, and it was a good turnout. I thought. How'd you do?
We did good. We did
Good.
really good. Yeah, good day.
So in several meetings with Deputy Highway Superintendent John Alonzi at the Claude Chance Park to discuss paving project. If you go there, thanks to John and his men and Gail Appler, they prepped all the work, and Van Etten came in and did all the paving. John talked to him this morning. He's waiting for the stencil for the handicap, so he'll be doing that in the next couple of days. There'll be supposedly reclamation and paving on the streets that were in the 284 Wednesday, so that'll be good. So this, hopefully it'll be 2-3 weeks, and then talking to Mr. Diorio from Local 17, hopefully we could get 4 guys to help with the sidewalks on the West Street to continue to the library. Attended opening a new joint office with Senator Skoufis and Assemblyman Jacobson. That's now in Newburgh. It's a beautiful office. They converted an old bank did a really great job. I met with Bob Tronsolito and Councilman Koenig to discuss Brooklyn Bottling Project in Milton. A little upset about that project. I haven't heard anything, but hopefully I could have a meeting with them this week. It seems like the MOU that they, in reason, proposed to us was to have the trucks go in a different way, right off of James Street, where that house is in that gully on the east side of South Street, and they were going to demolish that and do everything, and this way the traffic flow of the tractor and trailers would miss the neighbors across on the west side, go around, and the flow was good, and we thought that was a great idea. Plus, it would bring everything else up to standards. Unfortunately, there's some backpedaling going on, so I have to check with that. We did pass the resolution to change that zoning to C1. We could always appeal that if things don't go the right way, and so let's see what happens, see if we could come to some conclusion on that project. I think it would be a great project. I just think it should be done right, and I think Councilman Koenig agrees. Met with Mr. and Mrs. Cool, discussed local zoning. I think they already got an opinion from the secretary at the building department and George Salonovich that they have 2 lots, one right next to the new opening of what used to be the Perch. They own that lot and they want to put a little small facility on that, but they need a house on it to do that. So in order to do it, I think if they do a lot line change, what they have now and what they bought, I think that'll satisfy our needs as far as codes go. So I think they're on the right path. So also had a meeting with Patrick Sullivan on the housing issue on the Hudson Terrace on South Street, which he's a little concerned, and so was the planning board about them building new places, but the old places are run down. They need roofing and stuff like that. So that's a legal problem for those two and to get together, and hopefully that'll be. That's right on, you know where Brooks live, Danny Brooks?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, right across the street.
Okay.
Yeah, they're building 24 new apartments, right? 24?
They're approved for 24, 3 8 units.
Townhouses?
Yeah.
As well, there's an 8 and a 4 there right now.
They're townhouses?
They're townhouses.
Townhouses. They're similar to what they
It's
built.
on the other side?
Yeah.
The proposed is what's being built there. Those are individually owned, separate SBLs.
How about the recreation thing and the water?
Yeah, they're supposed to build a pool and a clubhouse.
Tennis courts?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about tennis courts.
That's what I heard of you,
Yeah.
but okay. I live around the block.
I know that they have to, everything has been approved and they paid their recreation fee and they're moving on, but I guess the concern of this gentleman was, you know, if he's gonna, does he have to, what they have set up, and they didn't have anything set up, right?
Right.
And, you know, does he have to eat the maintenance now of the roof, a new roof? And I think we've gotten complaints down the road, right, Tom, about roof leaking and,
Right. Since the project was never finished, the homeowners association was never set up. So the homeowners association, as we know, you pay in it on a monthly basis, and that's put into a fund, and that fund takes care of the common areas, whether it be roofing, siding, or something common to the eight apartment building. They haven't paid in it in 3, 4, 5 years, so that money they saved, unfortunately, they'll have to reinvest that back into the individual building that they own.
Now, those are all modular built, or?
Yes, correct.
yep.
And Patrick Sullivan lives in one of these units?
Yes.
Lives and owns, yes.
He owns one of the units?
Lives and owns in one of the units, correct.
The older units.
Yep, the ones in the front.
Okay. Huh?
We have one left.
Well, did I forget one?
The last one.
I'm a busy man, you know.
You're just all over the place.
So, and then today we started the budget preparation with Councilman Corcoran and the budget director, Chris Wilco. And, yeah, it's going. They're always fun. So we move along.
Don't miss those.
Mr. Corcoran, building inspector. How you doing, Tom? Good. Okay. Yeah.
Building Department monthly report, end August 2019. Certificate of occupancy 5, request for information 18, trailer park renewals 1, building extensions 2, fire inspections 20, fire calls 1, stop work orders 1, complaints 26, order to remedy 11, burn permits issued 17. Building permits, we had 3 additions, we had 17 burn permits, we had 1 carport garage, 7 electrical, 4 furnace boilers, 2 pools, 3 roofs, 2 sheds, 1 sign, 4 solar panels, 3 tank install or removals. Estimated cost of building, $214,102. Total permits issued, 48 for the month. Total fees collected, certificate of occupancy, $750. Permit extensions, set $515. Building permits, $4,597.73. Request for information, $1,800. Fire inspection fees, $1,615. Trailer park renewals, $350. Burning fees, $80, for a total fee collected, $9,707.73. Total gas usage, 90 gallons, and total miles, 1268.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom.
Good?
Yep.
We're good.
All right.
Chief?
Monthly activity summary for the month of August 2019 for the police department. Motor vehicle accidents, personal injury 4, fatals 1, property damage 12, accidents not requiring report 8, for a total of 25 for the month. Summonses issued, vehicle and traffic 171, parking ticket 0. Complaint activity for the month, total blotter entries 369 with a total of 19 arrests. Telephone calls handled 1,705 calls. Police department overtime payroll 1718, full-time dispatchers 10, part-time dispatchers 8. Police mileage for the month 12,979 miles, with a fuel consumption of 1,051.246 gallons. I want to let everybody know October the 19th from 11 to 3 is our community day, scheduled at the town park. So please come out and enjoy the day.
October 19th.
October 19th.
What time does it start?
11 o'clock. There'll be food, games, rides. We're still working on the
7
petting
to-
zoo. I'm sorry?
7 to?
11 to 3.
11 to 3.
Oh.
Yeah, 11 to 3. 7's way too early.
I said 7 a.m.?
We're going to have fire trucks there. Town highway's going to be there. The sheriff's department dive tank, all kinds of things for people to see. The canines will be there, and we're still working on getting even more people to be there. There'll be free food, ice cream, popcorn, cotton candy, all kinds of giveaways. So please come out, enjoy the day. It's totally free to the person attending.
It's October the 19th.
October the 19th from 11 to 3. Rain or shine. It's a culmination of the Milton, Marlborough Fire Departments and the Town of Marlborough and the Town of Marlborough PBA. We all put it on together. We make a great day out of it. It's always a good time. Bring the kids.
It is. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Gary.
Chief.
Just one thing. It bugs me, but I got to say it. I know we try to correct it, but the crosswalks in Marlborough,
Yes.
it's really bad.
It is. I don't
I
disagree.
don't know, we probably could keep somebody there for,
Can you put
Oh,
another,
you
can you put
think-
another operation on?
Sure. We have no problem doing the enforcement. As I explained last time, we can do the pedestrian crossing part of it, but the second part of that, well, we could put the pedestrian crossing part in where we ticket the vehicles for failing to stop for the pedestrian. But the second part of it that needs to happen, which we have not done, is to ensure that the pedestrians are using the crosswalks where they're supposed to, which means we would ticket the pedestrian for jaywalking. Goes both ways.
Right.
I have no problem doing both of them. We absolutely can make that happen.
I think it should happen.
Oh, no, I agree, and we've had these conversations, and we can absolutely do that. It's always an ongoing problem. We can be out there for a week straight, and then the next day that we're not there, it happens again. It just
I know what
happens.
you're talking about, the jaywalking. If they come out where the old hardware store is, nobody can see you.
Right. Right.
They make that right
I
turn
mean,
right
as it is, when we do the operations with the pedestrian crossing, the cars fail to stop, they complain that they don't see the pedestrian in the
Can't be
crosswalk.
bigger, right?
You know, we do have the pending investigation with the state DOT, which I've heard nothing on since we passed that resolution and asked them to do it. It's slow and it takes a long, long time, but hopefully we can get those lit signs. That would make it even better. But absolutely, we can spend some time there and then do the enforcement on both ends without an issue.
Okay, you guys in agreement with that?
Yes, but where are we with the request to the DOT that he mentioned?
Yeah,
Yes.
we wrote that about 3 months ago.
Right.
Maybe almost.
So we originally wrote a letter. We got a letter back. We wrote a letter on the advice of David Corrigan.
Yes.
We wrote that letter, sent it in. They wrote back a letter saying that it required a town resolution and be accepted by the town board in order for them to launch an official investigation. So we did that. We notified them of that change in writing, and they sent me back a letter saying it's now been assigned an incident number, and they'll do their investigation, and don't call us, we'll call you.
Right.
In general terms. So it's an open investigation. They're doing what it is they do. I haven't seen anybody there doing anything, but they're doing what they do.
We can't do anything.
No, we
Scott.
can't.
No, we don't.
No, it's a state highway, so.
We can enforce it.
Right, and in
Well, even though
actuality,
those even though those signs are off in the walkway area?
those are,
we
those are
can't
legal
make
signs.
we can't make them lit up signs ourselves?
No, they're in the DOT right away.
They're in the DOT right
Because
away.
the right of way they have.
Yeah.
So technically, we've even tried putting signs in the inside the road in the walkway. They're illegal. DOT does not like them.
Well, the thing is, we had in the
And
middle
they
of
get
the
run
road,
over on a
they got
weekly
run
basis.
over like so many times.
Oh, yeah, the ones in the middle.
They literally got run over so many times we couldn't put them back together anymore.
Yep.
So I
Highway
think
tried with glue and gum.
We agree that it goes both ways. It goes for.
Fine, completely understood.
Yeah.
But I mean, we also have the problem down by the new Philly cheesesteak.
And there's a
place.
crosswalk.
There's a crosswalk
That's
there
why I
too,
try to
but
go across there
it's
to go
getting
to
more
the
dangerous
funeral
because that's popular now too. So you have that and you have the
Well, that one.
raccoon is.
There's two spots. The Philly cheesesteak place, they don't want to walk the 30 feet south to get to the crosswalk to cross there. So that's going to be the pedestrian getting the ticket problem.
Right.
And
Same with the Pizza Town.
Raccoon Saloon, Pizza
actually
Town.
Pizza Town.
People walk out of Western Avenue, cross into the Raccoon Saloon. There is no crosswalk there. That is jaywalking. If you could pick a more dangerous spot, I would like to see where it is, because that's insane right there, but they do it all the time. And again, it's education and enforcement, and I have absolutely no problem doing both.
Thanks, Chief.
All right.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Yep, just like that. The screen is off.
Now you want to read,
Yep. Okay, so we got the monthly highway superintendent report for the month of August 2019. Roads, we continue to mill out and replace blacktop on Mulberry Lane, North Road, Bailey's Gap, Orchard Street, Idlewild, Prospect Street, Hampton Road, and Walnut Lane. On 8/6, we blacktop, we swale on Church Street. We are scheduled with Peckham Industries to blacktop Peach Lane, Sherman Drive, Conti Terrace, Hudson Terrace, Bloom Street, and Grand Street during the month. Unfortunately, due to their scheduling issues, we're moved to the month of September. Drainage, we continue to clean out catch basins throughout the town. On 8/20, we rebuilt catch basins on Prospect Street, Orange Street, and Phyllis Hill Drive. On 8/9 and 8/12, we ditched along Bailey's Gap Road. Brush and weeds, we continue to mow along the roadsides throughout the town. We chipped trees that were on Ruby Road, Hudson Terrace, and Purdy Avenue. Landfill, we spent a week preparing and working with the Ulster County Resource Recovery, grinding and removing brush. The debris chips were then loaded and hauled off-site. Town parks, we spent several days creating and preparing 6 handicap parking spots at the Cluett Chance Memorial Park. On 8/26, we assisted Van Etten in contracting with the paving of the newly created handicap parking spots, the pavilion, and the roadway. On 8/27, we hauled in topsoil and seeded the disturbed areas. Water Department, on 8/12, we assisted in installing a new water tap on North Road and then assisted with the water main break on Van Orden Road. On 8/22 and 8/23, we assisted in installing 2 new water taps on Route 9W in Milton. Shared services, on 8/20, we sent 3 men to assist the town of Lloyd with hauling, with the hauling of millings. Community services, on 8/8, we conducted a tour of our facility for the Little Friends Preschool. The children were able to see the equipment and the vehicles that are used and were instructed on the duties of the Highway Department. Fuel usage, gas, 159.548 gallons, diesel, 1,062.94 gallons. Respectfully submitted, John Alonji, Deputy Highway Superintendent.
thank you, Alan. Actually, I saw Highway Superintendent Gail Appler a couple of times. He's looking good.
Good.
I'm really happy. Okay, Mr. Maggio. Good evening.
Hey, Charlie.
The monthly report for the month of August. Our water consumption totaled 16.845 million gallons, which is a daily usage of 543,000 gallons per day. Last month, our usage was 16.703, and the daily usage is 539,000 per day. And compared to a year ago, it was 15.763 gallons for the month, and the daily usage was 508. So we've been increasing about 40 to 50,000 gallons per day
So
since
is that-
a year ago.
Is that due to Brooklyn Bowling? Or?
Some might be for their consumption. Summary for the month, our hydrants, we had to repair hydrants. Repair a hydrant at a valve on South Street. Service line, we had to perform new taps on North Road and 2 on 9W in Milton. Curb boxes, we repaired the curb box on Grand Street. Water mains, we had to repair a 6-inch water main on Van Orden with the help of the Highway Department. The reservoir, we've been maintaining weed whacking and mowing, and also collecting the garbage up there. Storage tanks, we inspected and checked the chlorine in the tanks. Meters, we had to replace 3 meters in houses because of lightning strikes. We performed our quarterly HAA and THM tests. Service line inspections, 1, closing 7. We had 50 markouts, gallons of gas used 270, and the mileage for the month 1,900.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie. I have just one question. I think Councilman Baker brought this up. The conditioning of the 2 water tanks.
We have been inspecting them.
Okay.
They're in dire need of painting. So,
I would suggest that you get some quotes.
Okay.
And bring it to the board, and because we're at budget system. It seems like they desperately need some love and care.
one of them is a little bit more than the other. The other one has been is pretty.
The one on Western Avenue. What year was that put in? Do you know?
Late 50s.
In the 50s. The last time.
When was the last time you were painted?
1992, 93.
Okay. And the one up at Chestnut is.
They're same.
Yeah.
They were both.
Okay.
It's almost 30 years.
Which one do you think needs the attention?
The one on Western Avenue.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree.
It's more.
Yeah. See, I imagine there's people that do that.
Oh, there are.
Okay.
If you need help with that, Charlie, we're willing to help you on that.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Baker, help you.
Well, you mean?
Excuse me?
You mean getting a
Paint
quote,
brush.
right, Howard?
Excuse me?
My ladder don't reach that high.
I got a chainsaw.
Colleen, how are you this evening? I'm great, thank you.
Town Clerk Monthly Report for August 2019. Burn permits, 1 for $65. Conservation, 17 for $79.28. Dog licenses, 30 for $155. Water services, 1 for $175. Transfer station permits, 8 for $285. Punch cards, 41 for $2,715. Marriage licenses, 3 for $52.50. Building department fees, 1 for $7,260.46. Fire fees, 1 for $650. Zumba, 1 for $400. Accident reports, 11 for $55. Alarm permits, 1 for $20. Certified copies, 9 for $280. Dog warden fees, 1 for $55. FOIA requests, 1 for $2.75, for a grand total of $12,249.99.
The fire fees that's from the building department, that's $650 for for the inspections? What is that from? That's not from the burn permits, is it?
No, that's when he does the fire
That's the fire
inspections.
inspections.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I do. Okay.
They're separate, yeah, fire inspection fees, burn permit fees are separate.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
It'd be nice if they were up there.
They'd be doing a lot of burning.
That's a yearly number.
Thank you, Colleen. And my favorite, water quality management. In Marlborough, average daily flow was 79,000 gallons per day, about 41% of design capacity. Average BOD removal was 99%. Average suspended solids removal was 99%. Permit requires at least 85% removal for boat, so we're doing great there. Milton, average daily flow is 28,000 gallons per day, about 53% of the design capacity. And average BOD removal is 99%. Average suspended solids removal is 95%. Permit requires at least an 85% removal for boat. Due to an internal issue, one of the two blower motors at the Milton needs to be replaced. The other one is operating properly. We are currently scheduled to receive a new one September the 5th. Still waiting on the two computers. They should have had the two computers. System, but we are hoping to receive them any day now. If you need any additional information, please do not hesitate to contact me, and that's Julian Falco. We had received the two computers. They were delivered at the police department. I'm assuming they're not there, and Danny picked them up, hopefully. I did talk to him, and hopefully... No. You still have them there?
Yep.
Oh, God. Okay.
So Julian's right.
Well, we do have them.
We have them. He just doesn't have them.
He's half right and half wrong. They're not installed. I don't know why that is, but I'll check on that tomorrow morning.
He's a nice boy.
Yes, Danny, baby.
I apologize with these technical difficulties here. In and out, in and out.
It's
We
up
gotta
and
get this
down.
straightened out.
As long as you're not want to stifle for this.
I want to stifle for it.
Anyhow, Town of Marlborough dog control. You want to read that, Ed? I don't want to leave you out.
That's okay. We received a total of 14 calls this month, including 3 calls to service from the Marlborough Police Department, State Police, and Ulster County Sheriff. Responded to 3 active complaints and/or cases which are now closed or resolved. We currently have 2 open cases that have been addressed but is ongoing or unresolved. We impounded 1 stray dog this month. We issued 0 appearance tickets. We currently have 1 dog in the kennel. We have 0 dog bites reported this month. We have 0 dangerous dog complaints under investigation at this time.
Thank you very much, Ed.
You're welcome.
Assessor's Office, this is from Cynthia Hilbert. Cindy Hilbert, we prepared 4 property tax estimates. We proposed 11 real property transfers. We are continuing to work on collecting our new construction and verifying our sales data. We will be advertising for a data collector position within the next week. I will give the information to Danielle to post online and in the local paper. Kathy and I will be out of the office for assessors training September the 23rd to the 25th. Respectfully, Cindy Hilbert. Howard, Planning Board?
Okay, Planning Board review, August 2019. August 5th, 2019 meeting. They approved the stenographic minutes, and then the agenda items were Garonne's Mountain Fresh Farm, 17 Bailey's Gap, Highland, public hearing, site plan. Public hearing was open, closed, with limited participation from those in attendance. The board questioned the proposed helipad on site. Comments from residents questioned the light industrial usage in a residential area, the use of the helipad, and proposed parking. The applicant's representative agreed to remove the helipad from the proposal. Comments from Ulster County Planning Board are outstanding. The applicant will return on the August 19th meeting. Next one item up was Buttermilk Spa expansion on 220 North Road in Milton. This is a preliminary site plan review. Ulster County planning comments were received, discussed. Newly submitted maps were reviewed, which addressed previous comments from the board and the town engineer. The applicant will return on the 19th for approval. The second meeting was on August 19th, 7:30 p.m. at the town hall. They approved the stenographic minutes. First item on the agenda was Bayside Mixed Use, 18 Burtsell Avenue in Marlborough, public hearing, subdivision site plan. The public hearing was held with several members of the community, voicing concerns regarding construction, proximity to schools, traffic, planning, and the applicant not addressing previous issues raised at the public hearing for the site plan. The board voted 4-2 to adjourn the public hearing until September 16, 2019, in order to more carefully evaluate the proposed subdivision. Next item is Buttermilk Spa Expansion, 220 North Road, Milton. Proposal received final approval via resolution for the amended special permit site plan. And the third item is Top Seed Landscape, 1943 Route 9W, is a sketch and site plan. The board reviewed several outstanding issues raised by the town engineer regarding several technical issues on the plans. Referral to Ulster County Planning Board is required. A public hearing was scheduled for the 16th of September. Next item was Garonne's Mountain Fresh Farm, 17 Bailey's Gap in Highland. Ulster County Planning Board comments were received indicating the proposal would have no county impact. Revised plans removing reference to the helipad, leaving the pavement in place, were reviewed. ADA parking requirements have been depicted. The final approval is scheduled for the September 16, 2019 meeting. Next item is Royal Energy, 166 Route 9W in Milton, sketch and site plan. The applicant submitted revised plans identifying a newly proposed 72,000 square foot cold storage building and redesigned fire access. New York State DOT comments indicate the board's previously required curbing at the entrance would inhibit drainage. The board will need to consider comments from the jurisdictional fire departments and code enforcement officer. Proposed storage and usage still needs to be depicted on future plans, in addition to ADA parking spaces and proposed signage. The town engineer requested a note be included on future plans stating the building shall be staked out prior to issuance of a building permit, as the proposed building is located at property setback lines and our variance requirements. Due to the newly proposed changes, revised building size and layout will be resubmitted to the town board for review and concept approval for the business corridor overlay zone. The board approved the applicant's request to submit the proposal to Ulster County Planning Board for review following review by town engineer Pat Hines. Should all the aforementioned requirements be met, the applicant will return for the September 16, 2019 meeting. The next item was Scott and Nicole Trapani, the proposed transfer of 2.6 acres, which granted final approval via resolution. Board member Ben Trapani recused himself from the discussion and approval of this proposal. Next item, Chris Noto, 194 Highland Avenue, sketch subdivision. The applicant provided the board with an outside user agreement for water usage on the two-lot subdivision. However, easements should be indicated on future plans. Some technical issues on the proposed plans require remediation. Subsurface sanitary sewer requires approval from the Ulster County Health Department. The previously identified retaining wall has been eliminated from the plans, and the drainage swale previously discussed has been reestablished. A note indicating a maximum driveway slope of 14% will be required. All proposed landscaping on site should be indicated on future plans. Public hearing is scheduled for September 16, 2019. Last item was Wahid, 144 Reservoir Road, Marlborough, reapproval of a lot line revision. The applicant returned for approval of a lot line revision to consolidate two existing lots into one parcel. The consolidation has previously received approval twice before, and all conditions required by the town code enforcement officer have been met. The board approved the resolution of reapproval for lot line consolidation. Next deadline is August 23rd. Next meeting is September 3rd. Respectfully submitted, Chris Brand, Chairman, Town of Marlborough Planning Board.
Thank you, Howard.
You're welcome.
Tom, that lot line change, he got that a while back, didn't he?
What happened was there was something that he didn't have the opportunity to file the maps with the county. The county's maps went out of date, so he had to get reapproval.
Okay.
The problem was we were waiting for him to demo that trailer, get the demo permit, and then it took a while for me to get rid of the trailer, and the lot line revision timed out.
Okay. So
he needed the maps re-signed, basically, same maps, re-signed, redated, sent to the county for final approval.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. Okay, moving right along. Report of the committees. Recreation Committee, like I said, pretty sure we'll get that contract within the next couple of weeks. The way I said that is because I got an indication through email saying that everything looks good and to expect some paperwork to come my way, so I know that's going to come. So that's a good indication that we'll probably get the troops ready, and once I get the contract in hand, to get everybody organized, to get the old playground out and the new playground in. We already established who we're going to buy the equipment from. We went through that with the Recreation Committee. And we discussed, I think we discussed about the old playground. I think we decided because of the liability and everything that we would just get rid of it. I'm a little hesitant to do that. I don't know if there's somebody out there that needs it, or if there's legal ramifications, if we could get, if somebody needs it, I mean, is it a legal thing where we could say we're not responsible for?
Obviously. We identify ourselves from any liability.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should talk to legal counsel about it, but I agree with you. I don't think we should just throw it in the trash bin. Somebody could use that in whatever form they want to.
What do these guys think?
We would just need to identify ourselves.
It's worth
from any
finding out.
liability.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I would
Maybe the Bruno Carl? Could ask them. You have a contact? All right, I'll get it from tomorrow. They might know some.
Instead of seeing it go somewhere.
Yeah, some of the stuff is pretty good. I mean, you know,
You're
the
missing
swing set.
You're basically missing a tube. That's all you're really missing.
Yeah.
You know, it works. So.
Okay, I'll do that. Emergency Management Preparedness Committee?
Wait a minute, on recreation now.
Oh, yeah,
The
sorry.
gutters? The fourth week of September, the gutters will be installed, okay?
What year?
This year.
This year?
The money's already been paid, they better.
So you're saying that it's gonna be?
Our playoffs are till the 22nd, I don't wanna.
No, you don't disturb the playoffs.
Right after that.
So Eddie, you know, you could have worked it in where we had tubing underneath the
Here's the
nice
other
black
thing,
top.
the other thing you wanted to know when I showed you.
Now it's all black.
But we have where you seed it. Now, do you want that, because it's not swelled that great. It almost looks like, I was looking at the swell the other day, that the water is gonna run almost on, the courts are higher than the actual pavilion is. And water coming down on the top of that, it looks like it's almost gonna go onto the floor of the pavilion.
We don't want that.
No, I'm not talking about from the gutters, I'm just talking about the swell itself, the way it's set.
Well,
Take a look at it.
That's what we didn't want to happen, because that's why we.
Well, take a look at it when you go up there, because I think they were a little too high towards the
Because I went
courts.
back down today to
Now,
check
the
that
way
out, but they were having.
the way the gutters are gonna come, they're gonna come all the way across, and where you planted the grass, they're gonna go out that way,
Okay.
okay?
Hey, while we're on recreation, just throw it
Sure.
out there, because I always think of this in like February. But you think it'd be worthwhile to have somebody go up there, maybe the town engineer, and see what would entail basically putting an ice rink in the pavilion this year? Maybe filling up 8 inches of water, letting it freeze. Fire department will flood it, I know that. But I mean, I know other towns do it. So like when it is January, February, when it's cold, December too, you would basically build up about 6 inches, put in a bladder, fill it with water from the pond, and let it freeze over. And then you can do ice skating during the day and in the evening. So,
Underneath the pavilion?
underneath the pavilion, underneath the lights. A lot of towns do it.
So that load,
Well, it's just gonna be like 6 inches of water on top of your concrete. So I mean, you can do the math at 8.8 pounds a gallon. And then you just fill out how many cubic feet are inside there, and you could figure out how many gallons of water. Okay?
I've seen it done.
I could do
why
the
would
math.
we need an engineer? I mean,
To make sure the pad, we don't break our pad up.
Yeah.
oh, that's,
So, 'cause there's a lot of, water has weight.
I know,
8.8.
that
That's
was
what I
my
was
So, I
concern.
mean, I could figure out how many pounds would be on it. We just need to know if the pad would take it. But I think it would be worthwhile to maybe try it out this year.
You gotta, what do you gotta put the whole
You
thing?
kind of like lay up, believe it or not, it's like you lay up like 2x8s, you know what I mean? Or a 2x10 board, and you put a bladder down, whether it's a heavy plastic or something like that, and then you basically just take a portable pump and fire hose and you fill it up. And it levels itself, and it freezes.
I think it's a great idea.
And then at night, or during the day and at night, you can ice skate underneath.
How do you get the bladder? Like, you have to get a
You'd
bladder.
have to buy a bladder.
You gotta buy that. Where do they sell them somewhere?
I
mean,
could probably do some research. I mean, it's not uncommon. I think
no,
they do
I've
it
heard
at
of it
walkout.
before. I just,
Yeah.
I don't know where you would get that, but
I mean,
obviously
you could
Why
probably
don't you
get
do
it.
the research and come back to the board,
I could do the research and figure it
and
out.
I'll talk to Pat, if the
Because I
board's
think-
okay with that.
I think, Alan, they even sell them with the sides and everything.
That's what I'm
It's
thinking.
like
You're gonna
one-
have to have a side.
It's like a whole kit thing.
It's like a kit, but I mean, it's as simple as like a 2x10.
Yeah.
It's pretty safe too, you're not gonna fall.
You're not drowning. If you drown, you got problems. You got other problems. I just think it'd be something to throw out there this winter.
That's a great idea.
Kinda cool.
Great idea. And
And it's
you
not
know,
January when I think of it.
I guess this is stirring our thing. Tomorrow, Steve Bianco will be working up there, putting the J channel for the drainage on the south ball field, as you guys suggested. Okay? So that's going to Emergency Management Preparedness Committee.
Nothing to report.
Okay. What I like to do with the CAC, Scott's the only one that replied. I like to do a joint meeting with the planning board and the ZBA to go over that whole thing to make sure that everybody's, and
Yeah.
with the building inspector.
I didn't email back, Al, but I had a few concerns about it. too.
Okay. So I think it'd be better to
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
do that and have a joint meeting and then have the people from the CAC to show what their intent was. I like maybe, you know,
Next meeting.
at the, they look like they're pretty packed at the planning board meeting,
What about
maybe.
the ZBA?
ZBA meeting, maybe
On
that,
Thursday?
yeah, on a Thursday, people could make it.
Okay.
7 o'clock, good for you?
That's fine.
Okay.
7:30.
What Thursday is their meeting this week?
Their starts at 7:30.
So by what day is it?
7:30, right? Thursday.
ZBA 7:30.
This
The
coming
last-
Thursday?
No,
No,
it's-
it's 7:30, CBA 7:30.
So it's the
Planning
third
and
Thursday of the month,
Third Thursday in the
the
month.
ZB?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll have to ask Penny to see, and Jennifer to set that up.
Okay.
IT committee, we know that there's 2 computers down at the police station. Been there for about a month. God almighty.
That's not good.
What's at the police station?
I'll call Danny Brooks, see what the problem is. Or do you want to call him up? I'll call him up.
I fixed my own email with Tina, by the way.
That's
Oh,
all.
good.
Sometimes he's better with just text him.
You should call him to continue details.
Milton Train Station Foundation, they're working on a train set at the cargo room, so they're working on that. Milton Landing Committee, I think there was a big
Yeah, we have.
festival going on.
Yeah, the fire department's doing their annual cornhole tournament down there on Saturday, 11 to 4. And then the Milton Landing Association is going to host a fundraising concert, and that's going to go from 5 till 8 o'clock
Right.
down there. And it's basically, it's general admittance, donation, you know, encouraged. We're going to have 50/50s. There'll be 2 live bands there. Chris Charter's going to be the headliner. Seems like it's going to be a great event. We're going to have the light towers down there.
You're going to have the 2 from the highway
From
department?
the highway department, we're gonna have
Okay.
parking up at Sands Avenue. We're gonna try to obtain some golf carts in case parking gets a little too packed. We can bring people down from Sands
Okay.
Avenue like we do at the cocktail party.
And the safety
Bring them back
issue?
up, yeah, it's easy getting there.
Safety issue, you're going to have the chief? or-
Yeah, we spoke with the police department, chief's gonna provide us with an officer at the crossing.
Okay.
So,
Got it all covered.
we basically have all the bases covered. So we had a landing meeting last week and we seem to have everything underneath control. Good. So we should be in good shape. It's the first concert, so I'm sure a couple things will pop up, but on the aspect of safety, I think we got everything covered.
Okay.
So,
Is it rain or shine now?
what's that?
Is it rain or shine,
I
or?
believe it's gonna be rain or shine, and if we have to do a rain date, then we'll do a rain date. But
Check the weather.
It's
Looked
gonna
okay for-
shine. It's
looked
gonna
okay for
shine.
Saturday.
Don't worry about it. No such thing as rain.
The rain's gonna be Wednesday this week, I think.
Yeah, should be good.
So, since we're on that topic about the landing, I did get a hold of Mr. Hart from the DOT.
Yes.
The next step is the DOT, CSX, and the town are gonna, in the next couple of months, are gonna do the planning for the crosswalk, the pedestrian crosswalk, and at grade crossing that's there, gated just for emergency vehicles and CSX, and then a little further to the south will be a pedestrian crossing. Mr. Hart indicated that it'd probably be within 2 months, but we know how about DOT, so hopefully, and Mr. Hart is he's been great for the town. And he says also in his last comments to me over the phone, they have the funds to do this. So it's just a matter of getting together with the fencing, CSX, and the crossing.
That's fantastic.
When you see the details, to see what kind of fencing they want.
Right.
Make sure it's not a 10-foot high,
No.
razor wire top.
There's been some recommendations, so I think
We have some
it's all good
recommendations.
things that we could work out.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass along some recommendations from other folks that I've heard about the fencing, Alan, to you, and Rosemary. Al, you've seen them too?
Yep.
From Matt Kirstad.
Yeah, they're all good.
Did they tell you the height?
He wants a low fence.
Everybody wants a low fence.
Four.
That's what we want, but what
Yeah.
are 4 feet?
Oh, what are I don't know.
What do they want?
No, it says it in the document that it's got to be mutually agreed upon,
Yeah.
or why CSX would do it. They would have jurisdiction of that
I'm
decision.
sure CSX wants it high.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it's a step forward. I mean, it's after 10 years, we finally getting someplace. It's all progress.
Yeah. And it's got a sunset on it too, so we got.
2022.
Yeah, so we gotta stay on point with this. 'Cause after, it says right there in black and
We
white.
stayed on point for 10 years, right, Gail? I mean,
Well,
so this
we're
is
not gonna
really
delay it.
progress, so we'll keep on them, you know? Like I said, I've been bugging Mr. Hart now and finally called me back because I really knew that this meeting it would come up. So that's a good thing. Especially the part where he says they have the funds, so. Meet Me in Marlborough, do you have anything, Ed, or any, Howard, on Meet Me in Marlborough?
Say the Valley Fest, the next biggest thing he's got.
Meet me in Marlborough. I don't know, BJ's not here. Meet me in Marlborough. They had a couple of, they had a request for space. They're looking for space.
And so is the town of Marlborough.
So is the town of Marlborough, I know. So they're looking for space for their, basically a small office where they can put a desk and all their files. Right now, most of it's, I think, in Sheila's home, and they would like to, they're getting to the point where that's not acceptable anymore, so.
They want a space within here?
Somewhere in
Somewhere in the town.
Somewhere in the town. So, I wasn't optimistic on giving her any hopes for that, but
They don't
it's
have
the request.
any
Okay.
place? They don't have any?
No, it's in people's homes. They don't have an office or anything, so. No.
We got 5 people sharing an office here, so.
Trying to think where we could do that here, or at the other place.
We could look at that one room that we were gonna turn in, but we'll have to turn it in when Tom back.
Tom back, yeah.
That's the problem, you set something up,
It's gonna
and
be.
then you rip it out, then
Yeah.
you're kinda stuck again.
And it needs to be,
Personally, I wouldn't wanna see anything go put in there at this point, because you're gonna have to,
Meanwhile, I talked to Kurt Fulton today, and he said that he has a ton of stuff still in there.
you got a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
sure it is.
You got a
And
whole
Tom back?
office, you got a
Yeah.
nice little office.
Oh, yeah, he's got a ton of stuff, that's right.
And
Probably 2 tons.
Ralph has the stuff too, so we'll have to negotiate that. I think it was a good idea about maybe we'll get those cargo things that you were talking about that are $2,000. Put that by the highway department back there
Put
in
them
the
in the
back.
back again.
But that's not gonna help Sheila.
No, they need a kind of an office space. So what feedback do you want me to give her? Because she just texted me earlier. We don't really have a spot, do we?
We don't.
No.
No, I mean, we've
I
been
think
looking for space for the chief.
Now, what about the train station? The other half of the train station is not heated, is that right?
It's not heated.
Right.
It's the cargo room. That's where the trains are being set up.
Right. So they're gonna set up trains in there?
Yep.
Okay. So the answer to Sheila is we don't have any room.
At this moment, we don't. I
And
mean, if
I think the
the,
Historical Society is asking for space too?
I mean, the agricultural, people are still in at the
yeah, they're still there.
old.
How long will they be there?
We don't have space for us, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I told, Mr.
We don't
Buck.
have space enough for ourselves.
We don't have an office.
We're not gonna have it. We all share an office.
Oh, we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we are, so.
Yeah, I know. But
No, we don't.
they are a significant organization with
They
a-
are, but
Huh?
I'm not against them, we just don't have the space.
We just don't have it. Now, if Cornell moved out, maybe that'll be something that we could look at. but they're
So
still
do we
paying
know
rent.
do we know what their
Well, they seem
plans
to
are?
be going strong. We thought it would be.
The only thing I can say is, Howard, is the only possibility within this building is if we talk to the school district about that corner room, which is like their break room,
Yeah, they're not gonna give that.
They're not giving
if they want to give that up and make that
To the left as you go in?
as a left, and then the Meet Me in Marlborough could put their stuff out there and actually advertise stuff.
That would be great.
It would be a nice thing as you enter
It's
the
like
town
betting
hall,
that the
but I
Giants
don't know
gonna
if this,
win
I don't know if the
Dallas.
school district would allow it. That's really much the only space I see here that's
Keep 'em moving.
not used as much, I put it that way.
Okay.
That's their.
I will tell her that we,
Don't have room.
we're,
We could ask them.
Just
don't
tell her
think there's
that
any-
we'll take her, we've taken it in consideration, but right now we don't.
Howard, when did you talk to her recently?
I'll probably talk to her tomorrow. I talked to her a week ago.
Okay, because she texted me and I never got back to her. So
She texted me today too, so I told her I'd talk to her tomorrow.
Okay.
I mean, there are other possibilities in town, so maybe we'll see what some other possibilities might be. So I will tell her that we're
ready.
considering it, but right now we don't have an answer to her request.
Hamlet of Milton Association Committee?
The only thing, Hamlin, I'm Milton, I'm sorry.
No, you're jumping the gun there, transfer station.
They're doing good. You're probably gonna see a transformation of the flowers pretty
No,
soon.
you went the other way. Hamlin and Marlborough's first.
Yeah, well, that was the Milton report.
The Marlborough Economic Development Committee, the only
Yeah,
thing we're
that-
working on is,
I skipped that because nothing's
Nothing
happening.
going on.
Nothing going on.
well, I wouldn't say that. Look,
Well,
Al,
it's
you
the-
can
it's
say
the
that. but
trail
it's
people. We have
The trail is our focus, and it's been a very slow slog, but it's
Is
not
there-
like nothing's going on.
Did
Yeah,
anybody take over
sorry.
for Michelle?
No.
As
No.
like the head of it yet at this point, or?
No,
I mean, not that you have to have a head of it, if it's just a group, but.
no.
Nope.
And the transfer station, next week, we're gonna have the second Tire-Rama at the transfer station, so.
Back to
16
the Marlborough, sorry, Howard, I
Yeah.
apologize. Going back to the Marlborough Economic Development Committee, I know we talked about this in nauseam, about this gateway sign. Is there any possibility, Al, or how, like, of getting that done, or doing it, or any other location rather than what we talked about, or
My opinion on that is,
is there something we could do?
I think there's something we could do. I think we could put something on the north side of the cemetery there,
On the
which
corner
is
here?
owned by the town. Of course, the church has their sign there, so it would require that sign to come down.
What
I think.
about on the south side, no, the cemetery, there's no room to do it, right?
It's kind of low there, but
Okay.
Yeah, it got the drop off.
it drops off there.
And I think where we got the Tilcon property, I think
That's perfect spot.
that would be, as you're coming down here, you
Right.
see
So
what
could we
we
put
want.
it where
I don't
the
know if we
old
have enough room there.
Presbyterian sign is right now? You're saying relocate that?
No, use that spot for the
Use-
sign.
No, I know, but and relocate that other, or just get rid of that sign? I don't know what you're, is that what you're, is that what you're
That would be up to the
suggesting?
Presbyterian.
That would be up to the Presbyterian Church, which I have mentioned it to them, and,
Well, I mean, yeah, it's up to them, but it is
What about that?
our,
it is.
Technically,
That
our
was a
land.
whole mess when
I
it
know,
first
I
was.
know.
We don't need to start any.
I don't want to start anything with them, but if,
Well, them is me, so partially. So
Right.
that's the quandary we're in. I have brought it up to the session, and so it's something that we,
because that would be a good spot, and you can make nice,
in my opinion, that's the best spot.
it's on a
We're-
high spot.
Yes. Where Tilcon, I don't know if we have enough room there, Al. That's the only thing. We have that little tiny tongue that sticks out there.
Yeah, plus we might use that for the entrance to the trail,
Right.
right? And then have parking there so we don't have to,
I think where you're
Cope with
suggesting
getting
is
there.
actually a perfect spot, because it's a higher up.
It's a
Yeah, I
good
mean, there's a
spot.
nice tree there. You
Tree
can kind of
there,
angle it a
angle it.
little bit of it.
so you want to
Landscape it
report
nice.
back to the,
I'll go back to the church and see what they have to say.
absolutely,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah, you're right, man.
No, I'm not dead.
All right, thank you.
Thank you,
Sorry.
that's great. So, that would be,
You're in old business.
Yeah, little business.
whole business. Tom Vac, we got the plans, so we're just waiting for the monies. Like I keep on saying, I think that's gonna be October time, they're gonna announce with the big checks.
Okay.
Have they, so going to that though, I know, we submitted the stuff for the 250, right? Is that,
That goes into all one thing.
that go, but that's already started?
The 250 is started.
Yeah, we gave him permission to start.
So if we get something else, as we talked about through our committee, meetings that we have with this, if say something comes down the pike, say, next month,
Right,
and we apply right away,
right,
it's another year,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the meantime, once we get the one set of money,
Right,
we could start that specific spot of
yeah,
the,
we could start all the plans and possibly do a roof, or,
right.
I
And then-
forget what Bill and
flash.
I came up with,
Right.
to come up with the 250, but a
Right.
lot of it was the soft
Exterior
cost.
stuff, soft costs and things like that,
Yeah.
right? And then next year the following year would roll over into the,
Right, we would get the big bucks from Scoofus and from Scoofus and Jacobson.
because we, okay, because we just got to then figure out what we do with the,
It all rolls into one
Activities in
grant.
there.
Of course, when you do the budget,
right,
you have to start off with the 250, and then they say, well, where are you going to get the rest of the money for the 885,000, I think it was, whatever it was. I'll use 850,000. So now we have to find out with Scoofus and Jacobson, the ask was for 550.
right.
So if we get that, God bless us. And that'll add into the third. Scoofus would be added to the first one, and then Jacobson would be added to the other two. So it would be three all in one coming from Sam, the state administration.
And on that one, I just want to make sure I got all this right.
Yeah, yeah.
Is the layout, the town have to lay out money first? Or
No,
is it
the
you get?
town can't do anything
do anything
until
till
they
you get
get,
the
just like the playground.
Correct.
Right.
Get
As
the
soon as we
money.
get the contract, as soon as we get the email saying it's a go, then we could do everything. For hopefully the 250 will be in play, that Mr. Bell and I, and with the permission of the board, put together. That'll come into play. He could start the design, the soft core stuff, and then 2 months or 3 months later, the other money will come in, and then we could actually go out to bid and construction. As soon as we get those contracts, we're good to go.
So as soon as they say, yeah, you got this money,
Yeah.
we start the contract, that money gets transferred to our account right then?
No.
Or we gotta lay the money
No,
out?
it's
That's what I'm
like,
getting at.
I control 7 of these things
Mm-hmm.
now. So we go out to bid, and let's say the air conditioning and the heating is $250,000. $250,000 comes from the town's money. I submit that, and they submit back to me.
So we gotta lay out money first.
Yeah, that's the way it's always been.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm getting at is if we get past that point and now we have a $600,000 bill, are we, and say we get all this money from them, do we have enough money at this point, we gotta look at this, right, to lay out $600,000 in advance
Well, the
to
way
get
it's,
the money?
yeah, the way it's been happening is that, as the administrator of all these grants, soon as I get the check, a voucher, and the check canceled, I get that and I submit it to the Department of DASNY. And they're pretty good on refunding it. It's a couple of weeks. So I think that layout is going to be brief. But the main crust of it is you have to have the contract to do anything. If you do anything prior to the contract, they don't obligate that. So that's the whole thing. So I think at the end of 2020, whoever's in office, whatever, they'll start with a contract, and in 2021, probably the Tomback building will probably be built.
So, okay, I'm glad you explained that, because it's kind of like, for everybody, it gets
Yeah.
confusing. So now, I just want to, and I hate to talk about this, but what happens if we don't get it? I know we talked about this a little, but I know the 250 then is kind of doing exterior stuff that we need to do regardless. A lot of that stuff. If we don't get it, let's just say, have we talked about that as a board where
Let's see what happens. We're going to get it.
we're going to get it? All right, I mean, I'm
I got
positive.
good feelings.
I'm
We're gonna
being
get it.
positive too, but,
Let's see what happens in October. See what they come up with. Then we'll be Plan B, but I'm sure that we're going to
Been
get it.
pretty favorable, we're pretty.
Yeah.
no, yeah.
The last meeting we had with Scoofus and Jacobson on the dance camera issue, they'll tell us that they're going to help us out. So I'm pretty sure they wouldn't say something like that. unless they-
Yeah. All right, that's good. No, I appreciate that.
No, not a problem.
Thank you.
So right now, we have monies left over for the sidewalk from a $250,000 grant that Frank Scartatos gave us. We spent $100,000 on the Grant Street, so we'll continue with the $250 this year, once they do the paving, and then the highway department would prep all the work, and we already did a lot of prep work with Charlie Maggio, moving the hydrant. A couple of trees were taken down by the library. Some issues with telephone poles, they've been taken care of, so all that other stuff has been taken care of, especially the telephone pole. One telephone pole took much effort as 6. I don't know why, I guess maybe it's in the mood, if Verizon's in the mood, or the cable's in the mood, but Central Hudson does their job right away. They put the telephone pole in, they move their wires, and then you wait for the other two to do their stuff. And then, as you know, Verizon is the last one. They cut the telephone pole and get rid of it. So that's been all accomplished. The other issue is talking with Mr. Diorio from Local 17, is everybody's working, which is a good thing, but we talked about 4 guys being pulled off for early October or late September, and he says he thinks that could happen. So I'm hoping it'd be the same 4 guys, because they really knew what they were doing, and the highway department really liked working with them. So
Well, I think
stay
Solly
tuned.
definitely, I think Michael's definitely, I think.
Yeah, they were a bunch of great guys. They knew what they were doing. Like I said, with the standards, we'll have a joint meeting. I'll get everything. LWP, I got the 60 days, Howard, ongoing until we get that approval. I think we're almost there.
Yep, on the LWRP, yep.
Yep, the WRP, Water District Improvement, we talked about that. The metal building at the transfer station, there was, Scott got a quote.
I'm
Hopefully-
working on 2 more right now.
Yep.
I just wanted to ask you guys before, I could change it. Are you guys on board with having that second door for the drive-through of the at that building? I mean, because obviously that adds to a lot of cost.
Explain to the
Yeah,
second board.
refresh our memories on that.
So you guys all know the building up at the transfer station. It's, and to get into that door currently right now, it's a very steep incline,
Put some
right?
black-
But the door itself is shot, right? And the door that you actually walk into is kind of shot. Then there's the old window that was in, which was the office space that got taken out. So talking to the guys when we brought them up there, they thought, because the other side's a lot flatter, right? They thought it would be beneficial to have the one garage door here and the other garage door on the back side, so you could basically go right through, right? So which means on the opposite side, which is the peak side, right? On the opposite side, he'd have to cut out all the metal, frame in, put a header, and then put in a whole new garage door. So that's probably part of the biggest expense, right? Then you'd have that drive-through, and possibly that could be the actual better entranceway as you could get in.
The whole thing out.
They did blacktop the one entrance, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they kind of leveled it a little better. It's still a little, needs more work. And then, by doing that, so, because he says the metal that they use on that building is something that you can't get that specific type anymore. It's very hard to because it's older.
It's an older gauge.
He said you wouldn't be able to match the grooves exactly. So he says what you could do then, once he does that garage door, he could reuse that metal that he takes off the backside and then reuse that to fix all the other panels that have got holes and stuff in it. And then the corners of all the buildings are shot. He says he'd have to fix those. And then he said you don't really need a steel door, you put a fire door, which would save a little money. And that entrance door, and then with that metal, he'd close off that glass
Got an
window.
estimate on those?
So, what's that?
He
He's
sent
got
the
it.
estimate
He's gonna
out.
go and get a couple more.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure before I got these other guys coming now, and I could also ask AMD, if you don't want that second garage door, that could reduce the price significantly.
I think as a matter of safety, just knowing the grade of what, the kind of equipment that they're gonna be putting in there and the grade that they have to go up to put the equipment in there, it's a matter of safety, they should be on the more level side. And second of all, if they have a piece of equipment in there that's all the way at the back of the garage, they don't have to take everything out to get it. You know what I mean?
No, I think it's a good idea.
I'd get an estimate on it.
Yeah.
Did you get an estimate?
That was the estimate for everything.
Yeah.
What was that?
It was around $8 grand,
Oh,
a little over $8 grand.
okay.
But he said he might be able to work, again, he's always said he works it. But I want to get other estimates, but before I go get them again, which I'm supposed to meet this week, you want to keep that in there,
Yeah.
right?
Keep it in there, yeah.
Because I was thinking too, like, we're talking about space, the things that have to come out of town, man.
Yeah, how much would-
If for some reason we had to split that building in half, I'm just saying, or whatever we had to do, or we had to put a space in there, maybe part of that building does become some of that storage space for some of the things that have to get taken out of there. I hope that doesn't happen, because Charlie needs the space. And a lot of stuff is in that garage up at the town building, so it's gonna get filled up
We
pretty
just
quick.
built you a garage, Charlie.
All right, so I'll stay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. We all agree.
All right.
Unanimous.
So by next meeting, I'll have those.
I don't know if we want to do it this year, or if we want to do it after.
Well, yeah, it could wait till next year. I
Yeah, I
was
mean,
thinking like
already-
this time, like
it's
the
almost October.
October, November times, there's sometimes slower times, sometimes you could get them in there.
January.
That's a job you can do in the cold.
You could do it in the cold.
Well, I was thinking money-wise, but.
Money-wise, we could split it, because we got money in this year's budget, we can put money in next year's budget.
Oh, I think we're tapped out of.
Well, this year's budget,
How are we gonna pay for it?
coming, that's what I mean,
How are we gonna pay for it?
next year's budget's gonna be tight.
Money in.
It's gonna be tight.
It's tight.
I mean, basically, that was the,
Well, we
The
approved
board-
up to 10,000.
Yeah, we already
right,
approved
we
it.
spent,
Saying we
what,
could
5 or
approve things
6,000
next year.
already, right? And we thought,
We put the concrete.
Put the
and,
concrete slab.
that was what, 5, 6?
So Chris tells me we spent 3,500, but I agree, I don't know.
I think
how
it was
much we
more
did.
than that. I saw the
She hasn't got the
voucher.
proposal.
I think because she didn't add in the labor.
Right. I mean, we all thought what you suggested was a good idea, just wondered how we were gonna pay for it.
Yeah, and then I think we
We're
put
definitely gonna
added
do
on some kind of coating on top of it also. It was a couple $100 or something. I saw.
We got a
signed
seal,
voucher.
yeah.
I mean, we would be over, obviously, what we originally approved.
Which was 10, right?
We approved 10,
Right.
so, well, let's get the numbers and
Get
see
the
where we're
numbers.
actually at. And then if the board decides to go forward with it, we'll go. If not,
Okay.
budget it for next year.
Yeah.
That's all.
Moving on.
So on new business, we talk about the upgrades to the park bathrooms. And also, I should have put there the lights that go into the pavilion.
So that's another one, same scenario this week, we're meeting them.
Okay.
And if, Al said you guys maybe don't want to do the hand dryers in the bathroom? Or do you just want to do lights, or how do you?
Lights with the safety issue, I think.
It's up to you guys. I'm not in favor with the
No, I mean, I
blowing.
could, so they don't
Pricing.
price it.
Yeah.
Price them both
Just
ways.
price them both ways.
I like the hand dryers, but
Oh, you didn't like them last time.
I liked them last time, you didn't like them last time.
I don't like it
I
takes
like
so
it.
long.
I don't like them either.
I don't
but-
like, personally, I don't like that they take long, but I
They take
like the
forever.
fact that we're not using paper
Shake
towels.
your hands off.
That's what everybody likes.
Conservation.
You
So
don't have
I-
garbage.
It was the same thing, Scott. We pretty much liked what you suggested. It was just a matter of money.
Cost,
See what it's gonna cost.
So, okay, so I'll get it all the same as what we looked at, and then we'll figure out what we want. Again, that definitely could be something we look into springtime if we wanted to wait.
Yeah, we're not gonna need it for long. Well, maybe for winter.
But,
Okay. You all right? Good?
I'm good, that's all.
Okay. I don't have any correspondence.
What?
Yeah?
Nobody wants a pavilion?
Keep it
No.
rolling.
We got a bunch of it last time.
This is the time of public comment. Anybody with a public comment?
Cannot get this
Yes, sir.
to work at all. It's aggravating.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Rusty DeSantis. I'm here tonight to express a few concerns I have about the renovation project down in Milton Piers and Landing. To start off, I have 90 signatures from people in Marlborough, Milton, who would like to have this on the ballot for vote for this project. Now, what really concerns me about this is, out of the signatures I received, 85% of the people didn't know this project was going on. Had no clue of cost, knew nothing. Now, this being that it was a special meeting, not a regular meeting, there was very little mention of it in the paper until after the fact.
I can tell you, this project, it's been so advertised that it's unbelievable. It's been in the paper. I'm sorry.
Well, let me ask you this
It's
question.
been televised, it's been on our website.
Why wasn't this presented to the people of Marlborough, Milton to vote on it?
It was.
When? It was a special
was.
meeting, wasn't it?
No. Listen,
What kind of meeting was it?
Listen, let me explain to you the process.
What kind of meeting was it?
It
Not
was a
the
meeting to vote on the resolution for the bond.
Regular meeting or a special meeting?
Special meeting because
Why?
it had to be August 5th, so if anybody petitioned, okay, within the 30 days, then the referendum, the permissible referendum, would become a referendum. So he had 30 days to contact the clerk and say, I have the amount of people to petition against this resolution.
Al, nobody knew this. Al,
Where's Marlborough?
this is my point. This is where it gets scary.
No, that's
That
not
the
my
people-
problem. That's not this board's problem. We've been advertising this. First of all,
I guess you don't believe in transparency then.
of course I do. I am the man of transparency.
Okay.
First of all,
Not
sir,
on this, not
let
on
me,
this.
Let me finish.
Not
Let
on
me
this,
finish
you
and
weren't.
then I'll let
No,
you
no,
talk.
no.
First of all, the resolution was tabled for 2 months because the date of October the 5th coincide with the permissible referendum and the referendum. So this way, if there was people that came out and didn't support it, it would be a referendum and it would be on November ballot and the town of Marlborough wouldn't have to pay for it. So this has been advertised, it's been in the papers.
After the
Special
fact,
meetings,
no?
informational meetings for the public.
Informational meetings?
Well, let me ask you this. Why don't you do the right thing and put it on the ballot in November?
I'm not going to do that.
Why?
Because
Why?
It's-
Because
it's
the people,
over.
the
It's
people's
over.
vote doesn't matter?
If you can't count up to 30 days, from August
Al,
the
calm
5th,
down.
30 days.
This is just a normal
This
conversation.
is me.
Calm down.
I am.
All right,
This is
take it
me.
easy.
Calm down.
All right?
I'm on steroids.
It's fine.
So from August 5th, you count 30 days.
I know, that's fine, but you know what? The people of Marlborough and Milton should always have the right to know when a project's going on, how much that project's gonna cost, and have the right to vote. You should not have the final
Mr.
say.
DeSantis, we meet twice a month here.
Mm-hmm.
We discuss this all the time. We talk about the South Pier. You've seen the record about the South Pier, the record, the front page with the famous Al Lanzetta. You read it in the local Ulster Times. I don't know what the issue is, but we've been transparent. This 5-member board has been transparent. My office is open every time, all the time. If somebody had a problem, they would call me or come and see me.
Well,
I'm
my
always
problem
there.
is that it didn't go to vote, and I'd like to see it on the ballot.
Well, there's a process, and you didn't follow the
every
process.
opportunity to go
You're 5 days late.
Nobody knew
You
of
don't
this
have enough
project.
signatures.
Nobody
I don't
knew of the
think
process.
That's-
Nobody knew it.
Well, of course they did. We talked about it here all the time.
Well,
You're 5
listen,
days late. I'm sorry.
I'm asking, it doesn't matter any, I'm asking you if you have any integrity at all, you
We
would
do
put the
have
vote back
integrity.
into
We follow the law.
All right?
Okay?
Well, first of all, Mr. DeSantis, we stated that this was very time sensitive. No, because it was illustrated many times that this is time sensitive, all right? It's a dead issue.
It is a dead
Because
issue.
tonight is the resolution for a bid package, Mr. DeSantis.
That's fine, that's fine.
You know, you're the only one who's come here to our meetings. Our meetings are twice a month. Everybody's welcome to these meetings.
I'll be here.
You know, that's the whole problem.
All right?
You know, people are not aware, but it's been advertised, it's been transparent, it's been,
Okay. I just think you should do the right thing and let the people know.
We are doing the right thing. Good night.
yes, James.
First, I'd like to thank the board because I think you have been very transparent about this. I've been coming to many meetings, and the park and the pier has been discussed. There have been plans. I even think there is, isn't there a plan in the town hall?
Yeah, it's in the hallway.
Yeah, so, you know, I think it's been very clear what the goal is, and it's been a long, this has been a long amount of work that the people on the board have been working for that's very important for this town. And, you know, I think you've been very outspoken and worked very hard to get this done. And I think this will be good for the town. And I want to thank you for all of the work over the years, because it's not just this year to get to this point, but it's been a very long time to get to this point with the studies that have been gone through and all of the work to coordinate this stuff. And dealing with the railroad and DOT. This has been an amazing piece of work that you guys have done. So I'd like to thank you for doing that for the town.
Thank you.
The other question that I have dealing with Tom Vac is there going to be 2 bathrooms or 3 bathrooms? And
It's going to be 2 bathrooms, right? Men's and the handy.
Just the men's and the women's bathroom.
okay, so you're not going to have a family one, or in case there's a problem with one of them. Okay.
The plans are on the website.
Men's and the women, they both have like multiple stalls, and they have handicap accessible stalls. But that, space-wise, that's all we could really.
Yeah, it's very limited space.
It's gonna be big, these are big
the
bathrooms.
other-
They're big bathrooms.
Yeah, the other thing that I was wondering was, since you've moved out of the town hall and the highway department has taken over the old town hall, maybe there might be some room in there for Meet Me in Marlborough, in terms of a room there, because,
So we have a problem because the ambulance corps is in Tomback. They have to move. So we're moving them down to 1650 at the highway department.
highway department, okay.
Yeah, and right now, people are renting the front office, which used to be the clerk's office, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's Cornell, so they paying rent, they haven't, so
Okay.
they're staying there.
I
So
wasn't aware of what was going on with it, I
it's
just,
revenue to the
but
town, so,
it's good to hear that you're making good use of the old town hall.
yeah, we are.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, thank you for your compliment, appreciate it.
Great.
Sorry if I got a little heated there, folks.
I got heated, but as a matter of public record, we did everything legally. I mean, this is a little bit 11th hour. Actually, it's 11:30. It's 12:05 because it's late. But everybody had ample opportunity to read the Middletown Record and show up to a town board meeting. Everybody had ample opportunity to read the article that Mr. Reynolds put in the paper. It's been on social media on numerous platforms, all personal and a landing page. I think it's been all over the place. It's in the corridor of the town hall. It's at the landing itself. So as far as anybody walking in here and saying that we kept this under rug, or we kept it underneath the cap, and we're sliding this by anybody, that's fictitious, beyond a reasonable doubt. I think this has been more open than anything's been open about, and this board unanimously voted to put off the vote for 2 months in order to see if it could get on the referendum. So we did our due diligence. I got thicker skin, and you have thick skin too, so that what he said doesn't bother me, that we're hiding it from anybody, because the matter of fact is we aren't. So I thought I was going to have to jump on you, Al.
I had it under control.
You were pumped.
The other thing I'm gonna say also in reference to what he's talking about, you know as well as I do, I lived in this town all my life, and you can put it everywhere in this town. When you go up to talk to somebody and tell them about something, they always say they don't know anything about it. And it's only the people that really care and get involved that do know about it. I mean, you can put it, they don't read half the stuff. I mean, I'll come up with something and they say totally opposite, like we're doing this and we're doing that.
No, I agree.
That's just the nature. I mean, they don't want to get involved until, like you said, after the fact, that there's something that bothers them now, but in the meantime, for the last 8 months, the head's buried in the sand, they don't know what's going on in town. And that's normal. You can stick all you want up there in the town hall, they're still gonna say they don't know what's going on.
I
It's
agree,
normal.
and I mean, I think a lot of people, you're right, just don't really get involved in knowing what's really going on in the town.
And that's the problem, and you try to educate them, that's all you can do.
But to blatantly say that this board has been not transparent, that's what upset me the most, because I think we've gone
I agree.
overboard to make sure that everybody, and I'm not just talking about Milton and Marlborough, I'm talking about Marlborough, Marlborough, that we're not transparent, that everybody knows about what was going on. And then to conclude, the record was the topper. I mean, I didn't expect that. Nobody in this board expected, but there was the headlines about the South Pier.
Can you take your picture from upstairs, though? I'll walk in there, I don't wanna see that.
But I'm just saying that, listen, we went through this with Tom Vac. There were people that knew what was going on, and they got the petitions, and we have a referendum. Either way, whatever happened, plus or minus which side, whatever, we came together, and now we're going to do Tom Vac. The whole thing is, I delayed the first resolution for 2 months to get on August the 5th. August the 5th was the deadline in case anybody did come up with a petition to be mandatory, the town wouldn't have to pay for a special election. That was the whole reason we did that. Now, if you want to petition against it, you go from August 5th, you get a calendar and count 30 days. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist.
31 days, so that'd be September 4th.
It's 35, I think it's 35 days.
I
That's
said my
the-
piece,
yeah.
God bless
But here,
America.
but I'm not denying the transparency of anything that's going on. I'm just saying, if you yourself went around and asked 10 people if they knew about the project down there, I bet you half of them would say they don't know about it. And I understand that.
If I asked 10 people about other things,
Yeah.
about the 250,000 that the sidewalk, people are saying that 250,000 is coming out of taxpayers'
Right.
money in Marlborough.
That's what I'm saying.
But, you
That's
know,
normal.
but like you said in the beginning, is to make yourself aware of what's going. You can't complain to me about the school tax when only 900 people voted it out of 8,000 people. You don't come to me.
Right.
Right? That's democracy. And democracy is transparent. And this board's been more than transparent, as Councilman Koenig said. We just gone overboard. Anyhow,
Okay.
I'm beating a dead horse.
Well,
I
the
am
oth-
going
the
to
other
relax.
thing
I'm going to
is-
go have I'm going to have a
Come on,
glass of wine.
We got football games on.
I mean, while Jerry's coming up, it's 35 days as far as I'm counting, and I think he said he had 90 signatures. It takes a lot more than 90 signatures. I think you need...
Jerry wanted, I just wanted to add one more.
190?
thing for the public
So it's not even
Yes.
there.
And in support of the transparency, which I think everybody in here agrees with. There was a special event planned by the board and hosted by Councilman Baker, probably maybe 2 weeks before the vote. And the purpose of that was to try and engage and get everybody involved. So besides all the processes you've talked about, that one was planned, and that one itself was also advertised in the papers and posters all over the place. And I just wanted it to be on the record that the board had taken this extra measure to make sure people knew what was
And every one of us was there, too.
Yeah, and all board members attended.
That's right.
Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jerry.
Okay. Moving on.
Resolution.
The resolutions. Resolution 70, to reappoint a Board Assessment Review member. Supervisor Lanzetta proposes the following, whereas Ralph Walters wishes to remain as a member of the Board of Assessment Review. Now, therefore, be resolved that Ralph Walters be reappointed to the Board of Assessment Review, effective 10/01/2019, and moves for its adoption.
Councilman Corcoran.
Yes.
Councilman Malinelli.
Yes.
Councilman Koenig.
Yes.
Councilman Baker.
Yes.
Supervisor Lanzetta.
Yes. Resolution 71, a resolution authorized the advertisement for sealed bids for the construction of the Milton Landing Pier restoration in the town of Marlborough. Supervisor Lanzetta proposes the following be resolved by the affirmative vote of a majority of Town Board of the Town of Marlborough, Ulster County, New York, as follows. Section 1, the Town Board hereby authorize the advertisement for sealed bids for the construction of the Milton Landing Pier restoration pursuant to Section 103 of the General Municipal Law and in accordance with the bidding documents prepared by Titan Bond, Inc. Section 2, sealed bids will be received by the town clerk at the Town Hall, Marlborough, New York, 12547 until 11 a.m. local time on September the 20th, 2019, at which time the bids received will be publicized, opened, and read. Section 3, the town board hereby designates the town clerk to open the bids at the time and place specified in the advertisement for the bids and make a detailed record of such bids to present to the town board as at its next regular or special meeting. This resolution shall take effect immediately. The questions of the adoption of the foregoing resolution was duly put to the vote on a roll call, which results as follows.
Just have one question, though.
Sure.
When is that period between when they could put the pylons in from one
I think
to
we're going to just make it. Yeah, just
Month
going to
of
make it.
October.
It's going to be close. That's why we
Does it start before the 20th, or does it?
No, it's after it's part.
Like, we're not wasting any,
She explained it to me, and I forgot. There's two types of hammer.
right.
One is okay.
One's a hammer, one's vibrator.
There's one that can only go for that.
But I mean, doing it any earlier is not gonna help. I mean, this has,
This will keep us in that window.
yeah,
Yeah, keep us within our permit.
all right,
Yeah, there's state my copy.
okay.
How do you want to handle the permit on that? Obviously, we're going to waive the fees. Do you just want to collect the insurance on your end, or do you want me to run it through my office?
Yeah, I think all that should be, should be done through Titan Bond with the insurances and everything on the construction work.
I'll forward you all the, they make incredible documents for this proposal.
Yeah, we'll get,
That's fine. I'll hold the insurance certificates in my office so
Yeah.
the town is held harmless and we'll waive all the fees. It's not a problem.
yeah,
Do they have
exactly.
to fill out a physical permit? Is that what you're saying?
I necessarily don't have one for that. I mean, we you know.
We've already
What I,
done
what I,
7
what I
permits.
need and what I want is the insurance certificates on file holding the town harmless as a holder,
Right,
you know.
okay,
That's all we need.
yeah.
I
That's
can
good.
make them some permit and fill it out. It's not a big deal, as long as I have that, because I don't have a permit for that, so.
You never will need one again.
Do you have a boat, Tom? Do you have a boat?
Yeah.
Colleen?
Supervisor Lanzetta.
Yes.
Councilman Molinelli.
Yes.
Councilman Corcoran.
Yes.
Councilman Baker.
Yes.
Councilman Koenig.
Yes.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
You guys.
Once again, I apologize if I got a little hot.
I had it under control.
Come on now.
Hey,
Get off
just
the
one more
steroids.
thing, guys. I'd like to bring up a motion for adjournment.
All in favor? So moved.